Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Public enterprises. Public corporation, also known as public enterprise or statutory corporation, may be defined as a large-scale business organization set up, owned, and financed by the government of a country mainly to provide services to the members of the public. Some examples of the public corporations in Nigeria includes the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA), the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the Power Holding Company of Nigeria. We also have the Nigerian Telecommunications Limited, the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission, amongst others. Some features or characteristics of the public corporation are: 1. Public corporations are owned and financed by the government. They are established either by decree or act of parliament. They are established purposely to provide essential services to the generality of the people. The public enterprise is a legal entity, as it can sue and be sued in its own right. Public corporations are managed by board of directors who are appointed by government. Public corporations are not set up to make profit, but to provide goods and services to the people. Some corporations are conferred with monopoly power by an act of parliament or decree. The risk of the business are borne by the government and the taxpayers who have provided the capital for financing the business. There is also the requirement of high capital to set up the corporation, which cannot be provided by private individuals. Workers in public corporations are public servants and are treated as public servants. The management of public corporations, that is the board of directors, are accountable to the government that set up the corporations. The public corporations provide services, but each one is restricted to the provision of special services. For example, NEPA, now PHCN, provides electricity, while NITEL is involved in communication. Advantages of public corporations are: 1. They provide infrastructural facilities. There is also the availability of large capital since they are owned by government. There is also continuity. There is also the development of capital projects. Public corporations are consumer conscious as they ensure that the exploitation of consumers is greatly reduced. The government enters into business in order to ensure higher standards, for example, the provision of educational facilities. The public corporation is a legal entity and so can sue and be sued on its own. Revenue is generated by the government from public corporations. They also enjoy large scale of production because of the availability of large capital. The public corporation caters for the interest of the workers in the sense that they provide a great sense of security. Public corporation provides employment opportunities for the teeming number of the unemployed. Some disadvantages of the public corporation include: 1. It requires large capital to be established. The government can interfere in the activities of public enterprises through the appointment of unqualified and incompetent people as board members. There is also lack of competition, which can bring about the inefficiency in business operation. Decision making may be slow because it has to pass through many people or channels before approval. Many public enterprises in Nigeria have become the major areas for embezzlement and mismanagement of the nation's resources. Most public enterprises are run at a loss because they are too large and complex to manage. There is also lack of initiative exhibited in public enterprises, as government functionaries must endorse the programs and policies of the establishment. Since the annual report must be presented to the public, such corporations have no privacy of their own. Some reasons for establishing the public corporation includes: 1. The high capital requirement. This is because public corporations usually require heavy capital outlay, which may not be affordable by private enterprises. Public corporations help the government to generate revenue needed to finance other government projects. Public corporations helps to prevent foreign dominance on the economy, because government can venture into some enterprises in order to prevent or reduce the foreign control of the economy by foreign investors. Public corporations are established to avoid wasteful duplication of capital resources. Public corporations are established to provide infrastructural facilities. They also help to prevent monopolistic tendencies, which result in very high prices or charges if undertaken by private enterprises. They also help to ensure even distribution of income. They also help to provide the essential services needed by the public at subsidized rate. For example, the electricity, water, etc. They also help to ensure higher standard of living. This is because government can participate in enterprises to ensure higher standard of services provided, such as education, which requires very expensive facilities that may not be affordable to the private sector. Another reason why the public corporation is established is for strategic and security reasons. This is because government may engage in business to control certain key industries such as the airports, the seaports, the oil industry installations, the defense, in which the government cannot afford competition for strategic reasons. The public corporation also helps to create employment opportunities, and they also help to promote economic development. There are different types of formation of the public enterprises, and they include the public corporation, the quasi-government department public enterprise, the state-owned department, and the local enterprises. The public corporations are organizations established to manage state-owned businesses. They are established by an act of parliament or decree. Some operate on commercial or semi-commercial basis. Public corporations are controlled by board of directors appointed by the government, while the minister in charge is the overall controller. They see to the running of the enterprise. Then the quasi-government department are government departments which perform some commercial functions. They are responsible to the government through the minister. For example, the hospitals. The state government-owned enterprises are enterprises established and controlled by the state. The enterprises run business which are best suited for that particular area on a small scale. For example, the Lagos State Transport Corporation and Lagos State Water Corporation. State government-owned enterprises are established by edicts. Local enterprises are enterprises established by laws and managed by local governments to provide and administer some services like health, recreation, abattoirs, education, etc. Some are located in rural areas to facilitate development of such areas. Specific problems associated with public corporations are: 1. Political instability. As a result of frequent changes in government, there are also corresponding changes in the board of directors and officials, and this does not encourage effectiveness and continuity in the management of public corporations. There is also lack of qualified personnel. Inefficient and unqualified personnel are always employed to work in public corporations because such appointments are based on political rather than technical consideration. There is also the negative attitude of workers, because majority of the workers in public corporations have a negative attitude to work because they regard public corporations as no man's job. Most of them will tell you that you should put government work on the shoulder and not on your head. There is also frequent government interference, as government always interferes in the administration of public corporations, and this results in poor performance of such corporations. Public corporations are associated with high level of embezzlement on the part of board members who have to settle government officials that appointed them, and this will eventually lead to financial bankruptcy of the corporation. There is also high level of favoritism in appointment of board of directors, and this results in inefficiency in the administration of public corporations. Most board of directors and other important officials in public corporations are sometimes victimized due to certain political reasons, and this makes such corporations ineffective. The practice whereby sectionalism and ethnism are used to appoint board members and key officials to manage a public corporation normally leads to lawlessness and inefficiency. Sources of finance to public corporations include through loans and overdrafts, through internally generated revenue, through grants from government, through grants from international financial institutions, through grants from foreign countries. The difference between public corporation and public limited company includes: 1. In public corporation, the government owns the public corporation, while shareholders own the public limited company. Public corporation is formed using an act of parliament or decree, while the public limited company is only incorporated. The minister appoints board of directors who control the public corporation, while the board of directors are elected by shareholders to control the public limited liability company. Capital is raised in the public corporation through government and grants, while capital in the public limited company is provided through shares and debentures. The aim of public corporation is to provide essential services, while the public limited company is to make profits.